5년 연속 아마존코리아의 공식 파트너, 4년 연속 쇼피코리아의 공식 파트너로 활동 중인 유일한 글로벌셀링 종합 에이전시 주식회사 팸글로벌의 대표 서주영입니다. 저희의 교육, 컨설팅, 운영 대행, 판매 대행, 배송 대행, 그리고 전문가 매칭 서비스까지 정말 다양한 서비스가 궁금하시다면 아래 보이는 홈페이지 주소 혹은 저희 채널 우측 상단의 홈페이지를 클릭해서 확인을 해주시기 바랍니다. 자, 구독, 좋아요, 알람 설정 잊지 않으셨죠? 그럼 이번 에피소드 시작하겠습니다. 글로벌셀링 전문 채널 꼼꼼한 팸TV. Jacob, this is a slightly different question. Do you know what are some common mistakes made by global sellers when entering the UK and European markets?
I'd say non-preparation, so not being prepared for the different markets. Translating your listings is very key in the different markets. So depending on where you're getting to, making sure you've translated the listings properly. Now that might require some translation experts. You can get third-party companies who can support with translations. I've seen people who have started selling in Europe and they've translated the listings not very well, and that's led to the ranking hasn't been the best, and also the sales has not then ended up being the best because they haven't been converting as well because the listings are not translated properly. So that can be one of the key areas. Another area is essentially making sure you've got all of your preparation regarding tax compliant, regarding any paperwork set up. I've come across sellers before who have left that part to last minute. So, they've gone to manufacturers, they've got the production for the products, they're ready to send the products to the new market they're looking to sell into, and last minute they've looked into, the different tax setup, the different regulation, and essentially that's led to products being held or, stuck with the manufacturer, or in cases I've seen people who have already got their goods shipped and they're on the water and they arrive in one of those markets and they're held at the border because of incorrect paperwork, which then can become very costly. So
that's right. Yeah, I think sellers often think that the barrier to entry is very high, so focus only on preparation. So they miss the basics to sell well after entry. Yeah, I agree with you. Are there any notable failure cases that serve as lessons?
Preparation is key. Making sure you've spoken to the different experts in their areas, i.e. translations is a key one, as I mentioned, but there is other areas as well. I had a particular case, I actually had quite a few cases over the course of the last 5 years at my time at AVASK where sellers have not prepared their tax registrations and they've actually sent shipments, and shipments have been stuck at the customs border until the tax registrations have become live. So that might be, for example, in the UK, a VAT registration, in Germany, a VAT registration, etc. And those particular delays when goods are held at customs are very costly. So I've had a case where one particular customer had a container stuck at customs for 3 months because he didn't have the paperwork, and every day the customs of the particular country was charging for that container to be held. So you can imagine over the course of 3 months, so really 90 days, that container was held, there was a charge every day. As you can imagine, that builds up to thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, dollars, etc., whichever currency you're dealing in, and that becomes very costly.
Oh my gosh, 90 days? To prevent them from happening, sellers really need to start by completing tax registration. We should remember it. Yeah. By the way, Korean sellers need to pay taxes in the countries where they sell in the UK and Europe.
So Korean sellers would need to ensure they've registered for VAT and they pay VAT if they're using their Korean business to sell in Europe. In terms of corporation tax, income tax, etc., that would then be dealt with in Korea. So you as a Korean seller in, say, the UK as an example, will be responsible for paying VAT, which is value added tax, which is included within the purchase price of a product. So when you're listing your products, say for example you wanted to sell the products for £10, pounds being the currency that we have here in the UK, then you would need to add the VAT to that, which would be 20% for the most products. For standard rated products, it's 20%. So you'd make the selling price, the listing price, £12, and out of that £12 sale, £2 would be paid to the government in the form of value-added tax.
The sellers have to pay. Not good.
아직 아마존 가입 안 하셨다고요? 그럼 따라해볼까요? 첫 번째, 저희 팸글로벌에서 제공하는 링크로 웨비나 신청하기. 두 번째, 웨비나 참석 후 화면 캡처하기. 마지막 세 번째, 캡처 화면 첨부해서 팸글로벌 설문조사 참여하기. 이 모든 과정을 완료하신 분들께는 시장조사부터 상품 등록, 배송 준비까지 아마존 신규셀러에게 필요한 모든 것이 정리된 입점 체크리스트를 드립니다. 지금 바로 웨비나 신청하세요.
How should the sellers pay taxes? Avask can help. Please introduce Avask and elaborate on the services it offers to Korean sellers.
So Avask has been operating for just over 11 years now. I've personally been in the business for 5 years. Online sellers, it doesn't matter really where they're based. We've got sellers from all over the world. We've got sellers from Korea, we've got sellers from US, from China, from Australia, from India, etc. We have sellers from everywhere who approach us when they want to sell in international markets. Now Avask supports directly through servicing them through different needs. So that might be tax registration, as an example. Like I've mentioned in some of the previous questions, you need to register for VAT in the countries where you were looking to sell. So that's one way that we could support those particular sellers. We can also support with incorporation. So like if you're looking to set up a separate entity, you want to have a business in the UK, you want to have a business in the US, instead of having one in Korea, then we can support with getting that set up. Alongside that, there's other different regulatory compliance that we support with in other areas, and that's very much depending on the country. So I won't go into too much detail because we could be here for a very, very long time. But essentially, we simplify online selling for sellers from all over the world.
I understand that to mean that there is not enough time to explain it here. So because you support various tax as well as VAT registration. 자, 여러분. 그래서 아바스크와 저희 팬글로벌이 함께 파트너십을 맺었습니다. 그리고 여러분들께 아바스크에서 어떤 특정 링크를 하나 드릴 거예요. 만약에 여러분들께서 이 링크 아바스크에서 제공하는 서비스를 이용하시기 위해서 지금 제공해드리는 이 링크를 사용을 하신다라고 하면 아마 지금 영상 아래로 나가고 있을 건데요. 아바스크에서 여러분들께 무려 50%의 VAT 등록 서비스를 할인을 해드릴 예정입니다. 그러니 이 기회 놓치지 마시고 이 혜택 꼭 잡으시기 바랍니다. Lastly, could you please share a message for Korean sellers?
I would say don't be frightened by the complexities of selling in Europe. It's for the most case, it's a one-time exercise. Once you've kind of gone through the steps in order to get registered in the different markets where you want to sell, you're then used to the process, so it becomes easy. I wouldn't shy away from potential increased revenue, potential profits, just because of some paperwork and slight complexities. And that's the reason that we're here to support. We can help you get through those stages and essentially open up your business in Europe so you can actually start making revenue and start making profit, which at the end of the day is the most important for you as an Amazon seller.
Wow, yes, you said something really important. Thank you for your valuable words, and I sincerely hope that your message will be conveyed to Korean sellers and that more people will enter the UK and Europe markets. Also, I do not doubt that more Korean sellers have learned about your service today. Okay, that's all for today. We will meet again next time. Bye. 일회성 연습일 뿐이니 유럽 판매의 복잡성 때문에 놀라지 말고 잠재적인 이익을 피하지 말라는 제이콥 씨의 이 마지막 말이 굉장히 제 마음에 남는 시간이 된 것 같습니다. 오늘 이 시간이 여러분들께 정말 도움이 되셨기를 바랍니다. 더 늦기 전에 영국, 유럽 시장의 진출도 꼭 고려를 해보시면 좋겠습니다. 그리고 여러분들이 그렇게 진출을 하시는데 도움이 되실 수 있도록 아까 말씀드렸던 제공을 해드리고 있는 VAT 등록 50% 할인 그 링크 꼭 이용하시면 좋겠어요. 마지막으로 아바스크의 그 서비스 브로셔 같은 거나 아니면 조금 더 편리하게 이 링크를 조금 더 편리하게 이용하시기를 원하신다면 제가 운영을 하고 있는 글로벌셀링 유니버시티 커뮤니티 아시죠? 주소 영상 아래로 나가고 있을 건데요. 여기에 방문을 해주시면 좀 더 많은 정보도 보시고 브로셔도 받으실 수 있고 편하게 이용을 해보실 수 있으실 것 같습니다. 자, 오늘은 여기까지고요. 다음에 또 더 좋은 내용으로 여러분들을 다시 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 구독, 좋아요, 알람 잊지 마시고요.